Mike, what are you eating? That looks amazing.
Oh, this? It's just a delicious Elsinore burrito from El Ranchito Taco Shop.
Is that nacho cheese sauce and hot Cheetos?
Nacho cheese, hot Cheetos, and their mouth-watering carne asada. And I'm dipping it in their creamy guac.
Creamy guac. Yum.
Giggity.
I guess this is a great time to remind everyone that if they're ever in the Inland Empire area, visit Ray at El Ranchito Taco Shop.
Yeah, totally. Check them out on Facebook.com/Ranchito Elsinore.
Or on their Instagram at Ranchito Elsinore.
Now I want me some Elsinore burrito and some of that creamy guac.
Giggity.
I can always give you some of my creamy guac, Jake. Just ask.
El Ranchito Taco Shop, Lake Elsinore.
More than just great Mexican food.
Eric didn't breathe once.
No, I made sure not to breathe.
Yeah.
I got yelled at. I'm not allowed to breathe anymore. I don't know what song this is.
It's ours.
Oh, yeah, it's our song. I knew that. I've heard it 100 times. Hi, welcome to Customer States Podcast. Where we talk about anything and everything in the automotive industry. Happy Friday, bitches.
Happy Friday.
We made it through another week. I hope all of our listeners did as well. It's good to have you here.
Thanks for being here.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm a little thirsty.
I'm thirsty too.
Thirsty! Ooh.
I'm parched.
I'm parched. Jakey, are you ready?
I'm ready. Ooh.
One,
I'm so fucking
two,
ready.
a three.
I'm gonna come.
I came.
Salute your shorts.
Salute my pants.
Do you guys remember that show?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't like this.
I have the entire first season on my phone.
Cheers.
Do you want to trade?
No, it's fine.
You don't like the strawberry guava?
I didn't care for it. No.
I
Cheers,
have
Mikey.
a
Cheers.
pineapple.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye,
Cheers.
guys.
Cheers.
Diboja.
What does that mean, Jake? You said that you didn't know what that meant last week. So what does that mean?
It means cheers in some other language.
That one
Well,
language.
it's not Gaelic or French or German or Italian or Spanish or Hebrew or Russian.
I know.
Shalom.
I
So
know.
we should figure out what language it is.
I know. Gay lick.
Eric, who
On
are
that
you?
note, yes, I am Eric Montenegro. Eric Montenegro.
Ooh. Say it again.
Have it, Eric Montenegro.
Oh, hi, puppy.
Mi
Can I
amor.
tell you how much I don't like being called puppy?
Wait.
Sorry.
I don't know.
Mi amor.
Mommy.
Ooh, daddy. Yes. Anyway,
Daddy's fine, but Poppy's not
no,
fine.
I don't want to be called daddy either. I'm not ready
okay.
to embrace that role in my life. I'm way too young for that. I am so sorry.
Even if it's sexual.
I'm too young for that.
Okay.
Yes, I do not want to be
Okay.
called daddy.
I think Daddy's weird too.
I'm a heavy line and diesel technician for Ford Motor Company. I've been doing it for 4.5 years now. And to my left, are we going back left?
We're doing,
Yeah, we're gonna
we're doing
do
left
left.
again.
Please,
Yeah, we
please.
upset Mike last week.
No.
To my left is this flaming hot redhead.
Cheetos?
Oh, God.
You're my favorite Cheeto.
Oh, you should.
Alain Paul.
What's up, guys?
Hi.
It's me.
Hi.
I'm Alaire Paul.
Hi.
I'm Allie Paul too, to some people. Bitch to others.
You are
Those are words.
the-
Fucking dick.
You are the warranty wizard.
I am
The.
okay. I'll take it. I am the warranty wizard. I'm a warranty professional. I've been professionally doing warranties and administrating them for the past 13 years or so.
Lucky number 13.
Yes. Oh yeah. It's next month.
I know.
Actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which
wow.
means my 2 weeks of vacation starts over and I can start going on vacation again.
I still don't know when my anniversary is. Sharon still hasn't told me.
So
Yeah.
That was a double
that was
hit.
like a
Sorry.
double, yeah.
That was a unison sigh. That was a sigh in unison.
And then to my left is a service writer, a budding reader.
Oh, fuck you. Holy fucking shit.
You said budding.
Budding reader.
What the fuck,
Rosebud.
man?
It's always been a joke between Jake and I.
You want to see a rosebud?
Stop it!
I've seen plenty.
Oh my god. It's Jake. He's to my left. Say some things.
say some shit. You guys want to hear me say my ABCs?
I dare you.
Yeah, I know, right?
Up in the doofy, for the duty.
Hey, everybody. It's Jake. It's me.
What's your last name?
It starts with an R.
Are you a pirate?
Raucous.
How do you spell it?
Fuck you, Allie.
Hey, hold on. It's yeah. We're not there yet. He's still learning.
He's betting.
Do you know what a pirate's favorite letter is?
You'd think it's R, but really it's the C.
Oh, it'd be the C, matey. You're a fucking asshole. Why do you always steal my...
I knew it too. I love that
you both.
one.
I hate you both.
Hashtag sell the bell.
Jacob
Hashtag sell the bell.
Rikus
That's
was
me.
speaking.
That was me. It is me. Hi.
Oh, I was going to say I do Volkswagen and Mazda.
Yes.
You go on.
I just do Mazda, and I'm a service advisor, and I'm your guys' secretary when need be. Other than that, I just take up space. I'm also a punching bag for everybody in this room.
Don't do that. I got a look already.
Anybody who walks in to my dealership. So yeah, I'm good. I'm thick boned, so I can handle it. And
I can't wait for the podcast to come out to hear the...
oh yeah, here, ready guys? This is thick bone.
These are excellent microphones
Yeah.
by Rode. Thank you, Rode, for
Yes.
these fantastic microphones.
And Dude Wipes. Thanks for sponsoring this podcast.
This episode brought to you by Dude Wipes
And Tampax.
Tampax Pearl. For the heavy flow of a red-blooded American.
Oh my...
We've for sure done that on this
That
podcast
commercial
before.
is-
Wow.
Yeah. To my left is
Later will be sponsored by Trojan.
the one and only Mike.
Hey guys,
Do you want to hide something for an invasion? Use Trojan.
hello everyone. My name is Mike, senior master technician, shop foreman, transmission technician. Let's move on.
How many hats? How many hats do you wear?
Oh, quite a many hats.
A few.
Actually, in fact,
More than a couple, less than a few.
well, the first topic on the board.
That's me. That's my topic.
Yeah?
That happened to me.
Introduce it. Tell us about it. What's going on?
Okay, I'm going to start it off with that.
Truth. Yeah, do it.
So this was yesterday?
Yeah.
Yesterday, right?
Yep.
So
No, it was Monday.
it was Monday because everybody hates Monday.
That was funny,
Yes,
the way you
that's-
said that.
That's true.
No, it was Monday.
Hello, darling.
I should bring her back.
Yeah,
You should.
yeah, you should. So it was a lovely Monday. It's always busy. If it's not, it'll find another way to fuck you because it's just the way that Mondays roll.
I need to visit Monday more often.
So freaking Allie
Allie was late to the party.
No, that's not what I was laughing at.
laughing at Mike.
Just nodding or shaking
Oh,
his
yeah,
head
he's always
disapprovingly.
disappointed in us.
I need to visit Mondays more.
So Monday, I guess a little bit of like introduction to this.
How late is the shop open till usually?
6 o'clock.
Okay.
So, but anyways, to introduce this, we had a lady come in for a regular service. She is a very old lady. She is probably late 70s, early 80s. And she is driving a brand new CX-9. It's, turbo. It's got the black wheels, the special paint package. It's tinted out
Talking
like a limo.
signature here.
Right. So she brings it in, and we're all like, oh, wow, what dude's driving this car? Because usually guys are driving this when it is decked out the way that it is, and they're driving their kids.
Sexist.
That was
So, anyways, out pops this tiny little lady with split white or super screaming white hair. And thankfully, I didn't have to help her because
like old lady,
super
with,
old lady.
like naturally white hair.
Yes,
Yeah,
just
okay.
like, yeah, super, oh my God, white, but yes, natural.
I love that when that happens to older ladies. It's not like the salt and pepper. It's like the full on like gray white hair. Okay.
Yep.
Go on.
So she was working with Joe, my partner across the way. She was already charming in that sense, just kind of a pissed off old lady to begin with. She didn't want to be there, doesn't understand why you have to get your car serviced. It's, already an inconvenience that she has to, get up from her house and leave bingo or QVC, whatever she's doing at home.
QVC.
all right.
So
Dig that knife a little bit deeper.
yeah, exactly. So she
How many
starts
cats does she have?
she starts talking to Joe, and we get her all set up. Just first or second service, no big deal. And we have to introduce her to the wonderful world of Uber and how that works. And, she goes, well, I don't know how this Uber works. And we're all like, well, yeah. And she's like, I don't have the app. And we're all, you don't need the app. It's just going to text you. It's through our Uber account. You just need to see what it is. And, you look at the text and it'll tell you the driver and the type of car. They pick you up and they drop you at the house. So that works out completely fine. She complains about it. I don't want to do this. Can't somebody drive me? I can just call a taxi.
So call a taxi.
That whole thing. Either way, she gets
make
it.
yourself a chimichanga.
So she gets in the taxi and it's, oh my God, she gets in the Uber and she leaves. Car gets done pretty early and we let her know we'll get you back as soon as we can. When we called her, she's like, no, I'm busy playing bridge with Margaret or some shit like that.
Oh my God.
Madge.
So we're all like, okay, when would you like us to send it for you? She's like, kind of towards the end of the day. She's like, around 4:30, 5 o'clock, you can send it and I'll be ready. So that time rolls around and we set it one time. And this is when Joe was still here. This was my late day, so I had to stay till 6. Joe got to leave at 5. Joe calls her, says, hey, I'm sending the Uber. Joe's still there. About 10 minutes before he leaves, the Uber gets canceled by the driver, not her.
That costs $5, by the way.
So Joe resets it, and everything's good. And he's like, hey, this Uber's here. She's going to get picked up. Can you keep your eye on it? Sure. So I'm keeping my eye on the Uber, and of course I get busy. You have those people who come at the very end of the day, 3 or 4 people picking up their cars that said they were going to wait till tomorrow. The phones are ringing off the hook. I'm the only one there. My dispatcher went home, and I've got my cashier. So I'm all by myself. Around, I don't know, 5:45-ish, I get a call from, we'll call her Joan. I get a call from Joan.
You know what generation that is.
Right. Mm-hmm. I get a call from Joan, and she's pissed. She's like, I hate this Uber bullshit, and it doesn't work, and I've been waiting here, and I've been waiting for an hour and a half, and the second driver just canceled on me, and fuck you. And I'm like, okay, Joan. I'm like, I'm the only one here right now. Joe was the one that helped you. Let me see if I can figure this out, and we'll get you here. And she goes, well, I know you close at 6, and I'm not going to be able to make it there by 6 now. And I'm like, Joan, I will personally stay late for you. And I go, would you mind if I transferred you over to my cashier? You can pay for it over the phone. I can leave your keys with the sales department. They're here till 7. And that way you get your car, and I can go home. But I will wait and make sure that you get in the Uber first before I leave. And she goes, how the hell do you expect me to fucking pay with a check over the phone?
Did she actually curse at you? Or is that an editorial?
It was editorial.
Okay.
It's very angry old lady, but, she still believes in almighty Holy Spirit of God, and she can't curse. So I'm like, okay, I will wait here for you to show up then so I can, get the check from you. And I'm like, you can
process everything.
Correct. You can go ahead and leave it with the sales department. She's like, they'll just end up cashing it. I don't trust that. I want to see it go into your hand. And I'm like, you know what? Christ. Screw it. I will stay. The Uber get the Uber. And before I hung up with her, I go, Joan, out of curiosity, did Joe ask you if you had a gate code? And she goes, well, why does that matter? I'm like, the reason the Ubers haven't been picking you up is because they can't get in your gate, and they don't wait. They leave because they're losing money. She's like, yes, I have a gate code. So she gives me the gate code.
Fucking idiot.
So you get nothing.
And I send it to the driver, and because you can text them from the account, and I tell the guy, I'm like, please, if this gate code doesn't work for whatever reason, here is her personal number. Call her. Please. She's old and she needs assistance. I need her here. And he goes, no problem. I've got you covered.
There's an extra 20 in it for you when you get here.
Right. Shit.
I just need this lady gone.
So what's fun with this is now about 5:55 when it finds a driver for her. And he's 25 minutes out from her house.
Fuck, man.
And an additional 18 minutes from the dealership.
You're going to be waiting another hour.
Correct. So I go, screw it. I tell my cashier, she's super, super nice. And she's like, do you want me to stay here? I'm like, no, go home. There's no reason for you to suffer. So I'm like, go, enjoy your night. So 6:45 rolls around. She pulls up. I've got her car up front, got it pulled up, all that stuff. So, of course, you throw on your face and you're all like, hey, Joan, glad you finally got here.
Yep.
You know, I've got everything lined up for you. And I open the door for her. I'm like, come on in, let's write the check. And she goes, what? Now you're going to rush me? That was strike number one. And I'm like, okay, so we're just going to be a bitch. That's totally fine.
Yep.
Still
This is
super
happening.
Still super nice. She comes in, she gets out her checkbook and she goes, how much is it going to be? I tell her the total and I go, here's the total and you just write it out to so-and-so service department. So, and I'm like, you spell it. And she goes, I know how to spell. Okay. So strike two. And I'm like, Joan, I'm sorry. A lot of people have problems with the name of the dealership because it sounds like other
And
things.
it's weird. Yeah. It's
just-
not like a normal.
It's weird. It's very hard to understand phonetically. I'm just trying to help. And she's like, I don't need your help. So she writes the check and she hands it to me and she's like, are you going to cash it? I'm like, no, I'm going to put it in
not
this
how this
envelope
works, man.
and seal it and write so-and-so cashier. And I put it in my desk and I locked it. I'm like, okay, Joan, your car's right there. Keys are inside. And she's like, this was all bullshit and it took too long. And she's like, I hope you know that I'm late to dinner now because of this.
You didn't mention the part about the second check.
Oh,
What?
What did you miss a part?
karma is very funny in
Karma?
Karma is very funny in certain ways. It doesn't
Ooh,
have,
that could be on a t-shirt.
it doesn't have to be big. It's even little stabs that
That's
it
what
does.
she said.
When she's writing the first check,
Phrasing.
she goes, shit. And I'm like, what's the matter, Joan? She's like, I misspelled it.
Uh-huh. Yep, that right there.
So, and,
Karma.
oh, dude, I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. So she writes the second one, asks me, are you going to cash it? Super snide, like, you're just going to steal my fucking check, aren't you, you little hoodlum? So lock it up. And I'm like, give me 1 sec, Joan. I will walk you out to your car, make sure everything's in there. Let me lock up my service department. And I'm locking the doors. I'm turning off all the lights. And she's all like, I have places to be. Okay. So we walk out the front door together and I lock it and I go, Joan, your car's right there. Keys are inside. Your receipt is in the passenger seat. Everything for you. And I start walking out to the car. It's the day that I picked up the Yukon from you.
Okay.
So my Yukon's parked next to her CX-9. So I hop into the Yukon and she goes, I hope not to see you too soon. And then she hops in her car. She starts it and she fucking peels out of the service
And
drive.
then she got T-boned.
Oh, God.
Just kidding. She
my
didn't. She didn't. I'm just kidding.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it. Like, give me the satisfaction. Give me the satisfaction.
I don't wish
When
harm on anyone.
So everybody wants
That
to
would be
hot
funny.
rod. Everybody wants to hot rod out of the service drive.
Right.
Yeah.
She
Don't do that.
She peeled out crazy, like Corvette peeled out in a peg leg forward wheel drive CX-9. And she just absolutely took off. So it was that whole entire thing. It was just trying to be nice to the old lady. And I told her a couple of times, I'm like, Joan, I get you're upset, but I stayed here out of the kindness of my heart.
Doesn't give a shit.
Just to make sure. And I know she didn't. And that's the problem.
She don't care.
No. And besides the fact that she smelled like she smoked 4 packs a day.
Jake, I'm gonna need you to.
What's that?
Can you clean out my cigarette hole?
That slug lady from Monsters Inc.
Yes. Roz.
Roz.
I'm always watching Wazowski. Did you file your paperwork? Thank you.
So, I'm gonna do a little segue.
Please.
So there was a whole shenanigans.
I was thinking the same thing.
Was that the sound of the Segway running over people?
It was the sound of the
Killing
owner.
turtles.
Is it true that the owner of Segway died on a Segway?
Yes.
Or is
that's
that
true.
not true?
Yeah, he,
Okay.
off the cliff.
So there was a whole to-do yesterday about so we have the owner of the dealership and his sister also does customer relations.
Okay.
And there was a whole to-do yesterday about her printer not printing color.
Jesus Christ, don't get me started on printers.
So, well, that's why I'm using it as a
you
segue.
guys had a printer story.
Oh, don't even.
So,
Don't put your finger up at me. I can make a comment.
just long story
Anyways.
short,
Anywho.
there's a whole to-do about her printer isn't working. So many people got involved.
Jesus Christ.
She asked, it's month end, it's the closing up of the month.
What is so
the
crucial
last
about
day-
printing in color?
You know, people
living
have their
color.
needs, I suppose. It was, and she has an assistant.
If you can call her that.
She's an assistant. And so there's a whole thing. And
Hi, Jake. I'm checking in
my
on
manager-
the CPS3.
my manager and the accounts receivable and payable lady are like starting to be involved, and it's really busy time for them. So it's like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll order new ink. We order new ink. They put it in. It doesn't work. It's a whole thing. They're super upset about it that they couldn't do it that day. So this morning I go and I simply Google this model printer not
Printing color.
printing. 6 people were involved in this yesterday. And what did I do to fix it?
You Googled it.
I Googled it and I hit the settings button. I cleaned the nozzles. What you fucking know?
The goddamn thing prints.
The color prints. It's
Hashtag Soda
fine.
Bell. Allie also wears a hat.
I do.
Another hat that is the it's not IT.
IT.
No, wait, is that IT?
That
I
would be
guess
IT.
you want to be
printer.
specific and say
Yeah.
printer maintenance
No.
person.
Well, no, I don't like
IT.
titles. I don't like titles.
Okay.
So
Printing is 100% IT.
So yeah, so I heard you guys had a story today that was.
No, we're not allowed to talk about that yet.
Not yet.
I
We're not
thought
allowed
this
to talk
is
about that.
that's,
You're not allowed to talk about that.
but it's next on the list.
No.
Eric's being
can't.
Eric. Just let him do his thing.
Wow, Eric's being Eric.
No, I was
being-
actually being Mike. That's what I was being.
That is true. That is
Michael.
fair. Yeah, I did hold my finger up towards him to tell him to.
It's fine.
Hold off. But
That's
we
so
can't go into
un-Disney of
that
you.
now. We can't go into that now. So as Eric knows, because he works at the same location that I
Idiots.
work
Oh, sorry.
at. Oh, he does work with the same idiots that I work with as well.
Indeed.
Except for the ones that aren't idiots, you know who you are because you listen to this podcast.
I don't think they do.
Hi, Mr. Jennings.
Hi, Eric.
So we left work on Friday, and everything was hunky dory. Everything worked
All of
properly.
the honky dories.
Hunky with a side of dory.
Great as it
All
could
of them.
be.
Yep. Perfect.
And we come into work on Monday, and
Guess who was the first to find out?
Was it you?
It was me.
You're so lucky.
so
There's 2 parts of this story.
Hashtag blessed.
all of a sudden,
Ew.
Ew.
all of a sudden, our so we work with Ford, and so we have IDS on our laptops, scan tool laptops, and IDS is integrated diagnostic software.
That doesn't automatically upload to a paperless system.
No, it does not.
Anyways,
Allie,
I didn't know. I was
IDS
educated.
is the software. Our VCM is the hardware. That's all you
Okay.
need to know.
the VCM, as Eric had previously stated, is the vehicle communications module.
Okay.
And that plugs in through a USB cord to the computer and then into the DLC data link connector, diagnostic link connector into the vehicle, right? So on Friday, everything was working fine for us to do our very basic minimums of even pulling codes and communicating with the vehicle. We come into work on Monday and every single technician's computer
But some things are fine, right?
does not work with this function that we previously had.
Okay, you're taking too long. So I went to go use the VCM software to update the PCM software on a Super Duty truck, and my VCM would not
Do you wanna tell a story?
communicate with the IDS on the computer.
Okay.
So I would plug in the hardware into the USB port on the. I'm putting into layman's terms so
Thank you.
so our people understand.
Thank you.
I plugged in the hardware into the computer with the USB port, and it goes. like you plug it in, and the computer recognizes you
It
plug
powers up
something
the device.
into the USB port. But the software is not registering that the hardware is plugged into the computer. So it has to show a little icon on the corner that is plugged into and talking with the hardware.
It's showing it's communicating.
Right. And it wouldn't communicate with it. So I couldn't, if it's not, one's not communicating to that, I can't communicate with the vehicle. And I can't pull it. I can't do anything with it. There's no backdoor. I can't do anything with it. I'm
Yeah,
like,
back door.
okay, fuck. I'm like, all right, so I got an issue with my computer. I restarted my computer. I restarted my hardware device. Didn't fix it. Okay, I'm gonna go
Classic.
borrow
Somebody else's.
my colleagues. I went and borrowed Christian's computer. Christian.
Christian.
Chris. I borrowed his computer and his VCM. I went and I plugged in, and same fucking problem. I'm like, oh great. So I tried doing a hard reset on his VCM, and it did it, and then it updated software, and it still wouldn't communicate. I'm like, fuck. So I went to Mike's. I'm like, I went and borrowed Mike's. I'm like, he's got the master one, so let's go try this. Nope, still wouldn't work on Mike's. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So then I'm going to go over to the electrical department and try theirs. And as I'm driving past the brakes and front end department, I'm like, and I see one of the guys in the truck. I said, is yours working? He's like, no.
Fuck.
All right, cool. Sounds like everyone's having a problem.
Yep.
I go into the electrical department and I ask him, I'm like, I need to borrow your computer, please, and your VCM. He's like, okay. And I told him what was going on, and he plugs in. He's like, it works just fine. Sure as shit, it was working just fine.
What?
I later found out. Yeah. I later found out because he's using a personal laptop, not a company computer. With the software, he's not getting the security updates into his personal laptop.
So that's
way
what
that-
the crux of the
it was
issue
a
ended up being.
fucking security update that blocks things plugged into the USB port because it's a security issue.
Mike,
Never mind
since-
the fact that we need this to communicate to the vehicles.
Right.
My mouse works just fine. Anyways, that's the gist of what happened. I'll let Mike run.
Mike, since you since you play IT and you know all of your acronyms,
I don't.
Acronyms.
I don't IT.
Ahmed.
do you know what USB stands for? Huh?
Universal Service
No.
Bulletin.
No.
No. No.
Unintegrated Special Broadcast.
No.
What is it?
Universal
on a-
Serial Bus.
Oh, whatever.
Oh.
Thank you, Jake.
Didn't
Cereal
even-
starts with a C.
I learned
even-
something new.
Didn't even
I'm
give
just
me
kidding,
the
I'm just
chance to answer.
I learned something
Did
new.
you know?
Eric
I
knew.
And Dale
He
was
did.
screaming.
He said
through his-
Universal Cereal, and I jumped ahead and said bus.
I learned something new, and Dale is screaming through his
Universal Cereal Bus, you dick!
I called one of
Dumbass.
those USB sticks a dongle the other day, and everybody laughed at me.
No,
and I was
that's-
like, that's what it's called.
That's a
A
dongle.
dongle is the adapter from
The
the.
wireless adapter.
I thought
like
it was
a
the
flash
stick.
drive.
Like
No,
a flash drive.
A flash drive is a flash
dongle.
drive. A dongle is
A
for a
USB flash drive is a dongle, but a USB itself is not a dongle.
What is
See,
it?
that's
Oh
not
my
how I
god.
understand-
Okay.
Hold on.
I'm gonna
That's not-
Google.
well-
Mike, you finish the story. I'm gonna Google what a dongle
Real quick, that's
wait,
not
wait.
what I understood what a dongle was. What I understood what dongle was specific
Call
to
Dale.
iPhones. Specific to iPhones is going from like the original iPhone connector port, the big long ones,
Right.
to a Lightning or
USB-C.
Oh my God.
going to an auxiliary port. So you connect it into your iPhone, and then it has the two.
You're totally fucking right.
a dongle is
Thank
any
you.
any
And then-
adapter.
Adapter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
Oh, but it can also, it's all of those things. It's my
yeah.
thing too.
Yeah, it's everything.
Yeah. See?
Interesting.
It's
Okay.
all those things.
but yes, we solved that mystery. Thanks, gang.
Mike's getting
Was
upset now, guys.
Scooby snacks for everybody. Anyway, the resolution, actually, there's no resolution to all of the issues yet with the dealership with the global policy update.
You had a
of
resolution
our-
just to that issue.
well, yes, to the scan tool
Only that issue.
we have that resolved,
And then
that
we later
took-
ended up finding more issues.
that
You
took-
always do. That's half IT. You
that
open up a
took-
can of worms.
That took a day and a half to get resolved, and now we've realized that all of the printers in the shop also do not work
because of this. Security update.
Yeah, because of a security update. You know, it thinks that any USB device or whatever
Yeah.
that's plugged in the
My
network.
blood is still boiling.
I'm
over
going to
that.
kick
I'm-
everything off of the network.
Hold on. Let me tell you this. So I've been, you call into the IT support and you get to the tier 1 or whatever.
Correct.
Oh shit! There's tears.
Yeah.
the cashiers and the
Always.
front registers.
So
Always.
hold on, it gets so much better. So I,
getting upset again.
I'm not an idiot, and I know what's going on, and I know what's happening.
Eric.
I love you. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, they're gonna throw
I love you.
hands.
You're not. You're not.
Are you guys going to mud wrestle?
You're very smart.
Ooh, I got baby oil.
SMRT.
So do I.
Smart.
I don't like that. I don't like that voice.
Okay, so
Stop it.
we get to all this stuff, and we figure out that yes, we have fixed the scan tool issues, and I have to go through and force update all of the global policies and the Zscaler things and like all these different programs in every single technician's computer in the dealership to make the scan tools work. Great. And so now the scan tools work. That's perfect.
So at what time in the day did this happen? So how long?
Tuesday by 1:30, everybody's scan tool is working.
Okay.
And I noticed this problem on early Monday morning.
Jesus.
Very first thing. I'm talking 7:30 in the morning.
Of course.
Monday morning.
Of course.
So I'm not even going to tell you how many hours I spent on the phone, literally on the phone with IT. I'll get to that at the end.
Fucking idiots.
So then we find out that, oh my God, none of the printers are working for the same issue. So I spend all this time with the IT and going through this and, here's the IP address for this and you want to remote into this and try and, everybody wants to update the drivers and everybody wants to update this and to update that. Eric, please.
Hold on, just real quick, because you're talking about what they're having you do and whatnot. Before I forget, real quick, the first girl that I talked to about the issue with the IDS and the VCM, the first question she asked me, no cap,
You're both wearing a cap.
Did you try unplugging the device?
fuck
and
me.
Of course they
plugging
did.
it back in? I swear on everything holy. The first question she asked me, and I started laughing. I literally was laughing while I'm on the phone with her. She's like, and then she starts laughing. She's like, I'm sorry, I have to ask these questions. I
There's
know
a
how it
script.
sounds. Yeah, exactly. I was like,
Speaking of technology,
Yes.
it was very fun seeing you use the Swiss system on Monday.
We're going to get to that. I think that's.
I think Ford missed out big time not calling that the Swiss system.
It is.
Why is there a lot of
Oh,
holes in it?
it is called the See What I See system, Swiss.
SWIS, Swiss.
okay.
See what I
See what I see is.
And they could
the
do
acronym.
system at the end, and it could literally be Swiss.
I will. Yes, we can talk about that
Just
another episode.
Anyways.
just take that, cut it, and put it at the end of the episode because I know you don't
The
want.
price is way too high. You need to cut it.
We're running late. However, I do want to
The printer
the
issue.
story. So we gotta go find out this printer issue, and Eric has called in, and I have called in, and Eric and I have gotten. Oh my God, that's another one. So Eric and I have gotten so far in this printer issue, right? Yeah. So now I get I am escalated to tier 2, and I'm talking to this guy. He gives me all this information. We're remoting into this computer, that computer, trying to figure out stuff. So I get a generic email. What I'm assuming is a generic email from the company saying, almost like Eric said, well, have you tried unplugging it and plugging it back
Fucking
in?
stupid.
Is the printer damaged? Is it hooked up to the computer?
Do you need help installing a new?
Yeah. Do you need help installing a new printer? Well, we need further
Fuck outta
assistance.
here.
I have already been
out of
escalated and escalated and escalated. How can you come back and tell me these things? Like, please call me. Like, here's my cell phone number. Please call me and tell me this in person so I can tell you, get bent.
Please
essentially.
kindly go fuck yourself all
Pound
the way
sand.
to
Yeah.
the rings of Saturn. Thank you very much.
So anyway, I believe that this concludes the first half. Do you guys agree?
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree.
We need to thank our sponsors.
And who are they?
Hi
need to
guys.
thank-
It's Raymond
we
Yeah.
need to
Yeah.
Ray Moon
and Nick Lowridge.
from
Yeah.
Ranchito Taco Shop.
Yes.
Nick Lowridge from Matco Tools.
Yes, and
Travis Ferris from Hit
yes.
Distributing.
Yes.
And we also throw
Supplying us
Dale in
with-
there sometimes.
I'd like to thank
Justice
Dale.
Brothers Products.
Dale. Oh, and Norm.
Mr.
Norm's-
Dale
And
Follett.
Mr. Norm.
Norm.
Mr. Dale Follett for being our IT guy. Norman
What?
Glazier, for his gracious donations.
Yes, thank you.
At his time, which is so valuable.
And Mr. Jacques Penier.
What?
And anyone we forgot to
And
mention.
Tarjay.
And thank you to our listeners.
Yes.
We will be back
And
after
Dude
these
Wipes.
short messages.
Brought to you by Dude Wipes, Tampax, and Trojan.
None of those people.
You
Be right
really
back.
have to listen to the whole episode.
Thank you, everybody.
And Jack Links, probably.
Oh, meat stick.
We'll be right back.
Bye. Kevin!
Come on!
Hi, Mike Sarah here from Customer States. If you're searching for the highest quality additives, lubricants, or cleaners for your automotive, heavy equipment, agricultural, or industrial machinery needs, look no further than the Justice Brothers line of products. From lubing your chainsaw, performing a complete fuel system treatment and decarb service on a customer's vehicle, keeping that forklift forking and lifting, or just need a can of that famous JB80 penetrant to persuade a rusty bolt, Justice Brothers has you covered. Travis Ferris of Hit Distributing is not only Southern California's authorized Justice Brothers distributor, but also a great friend of mine. Over the years, Travis has helped me and my dealership with anything and everything we need, including all the lines of Justice Brothers products and even equipment to perform the various services we may need for our specific application. HIT stands for honesty, integrity, and trust, so you know when you contact Travis, that's exactly what you'll get. That, combined with Justice Brothers supplying superior quality automotive products since the 1940s and 75 years in the racing industry, you will have absolutely everything at your disposal to get the job done. Justice Brothers is proudly made in the USA, and they have a satisfaction guarantee or your money back. Justice Brothers has the best quality products over any other competitor, and they'll gladly tell you that themselves. If you live in the Southern California area, call my man Travis Ferris at 805-208-7818. And if you don't, call him anyway and tell him I said thanks. And visit justicebrothers.com to learn more about their complete line of products. Justice Brothers, America's brand for quality.
And we're back.
We are back.
Yes, we are.
Thank you
Back from
to
our break.
all of those beautiful people that sponsor this
Are they beautiful,
monstrosity of a
I mean,
podcast.
that's kind of generalization. I don't know that they're all beautiful.
They're beautiful inside and out.
Inside.
Inside only.
Inside. No, I'm kidding. We love all of you. Thank you so much to Nick Lowridge from Atco Tools.
And Ray Moon.
From El Ranchito Taco Shop
in Lake Elsinore, California.
And Travis Ferris from Hit Distributing.
Yes, I'm falling
Supply.
asleep. So
Justice
it's
Justice Brothers products.
it's not you, Ray. It's me. I'm like
not you.
falling asleep.
It's me, typical woman.
So for those of you who are cracking
I'm guilty of
and
that.
aren't gonna fall asleep if they have another beverage,
I think you should.
let's do it. Let's crack her
I think
open.
you should have a sip of mine. Ready?
This one's for you.
Thank you. Here, invisible clink.
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 Oh, we did that.
That was a good one.
We came together.
That's the best way.
Indeed.
All right. So anyway, so coming back from break, after we thank our sponsors,
We were on break?
we were.
Oh, crap.
We ate some pizza. You don't remember that?
We ate all of
do.
the
Delicious.
And some pasta salad.
I really
and some ribs.
we had posted some pictures of this Mazda differential.
Did we post
Yes,
it?
we did. Wait. Oh, yes.
No.
Yes, we did.
Oh, yes, we did. We definitely did.
However, I would like to talk about that now.
Okay.
What would you like to talk about?
Well, it's Jake's story. Let's let him tell the story.
Let's tell a
Allie.
different story.
Oh, my God.
Hashtag sell about.
Ew. Yeah.
Come on, me ought to know.
Miata. Oh, my God.
Hashtag sell the bell. Oh my God. Hashtag sell the bell.
Thank you, Dustin. Thank you, Dustin.
So the story isn't super long. We had a Miata from a rental agency, which is already a bad sign because you don't usually rent that type of car out.
A sports vehicle.
Unless you're getting it from an exotic place, but you're not finding a damn Miata in an exotic place.
Definitely not.
So, somebody drove this hard extremely hard.
They're doing
Rotor
burnouts in a parking lot.
Right. So the car gets towed in. The tow truck driver was funny enough on her own. She trailer park Tammy, hands down.
You misspelled trash.
Yeah, trailer trash Tammy or whatever. But she was, she's like, oh, my daughter used to have one of these, but then she like parked it somewhere and it got stolen, and then she decided to get herself a van, and now she's just traveling around the world, and I don't know where she is. I haven't seen her in 15 years.
Oh my god, that's so
Cool
sad,
story, bro.
Yeah,
actually.
I'm like, okay. And I asked her, I'm like, does it drive? And she's all like, not very well, but yeah. I'm like, okay.
God.
So she takes it off the flatbed and it's just, I'm like, oh, balls. Okay. So once it gets on the ground, sure enough, the tires are completely bald on the inner and the outer edges.
Wonderful.
The rubber has stretched, so you can tell it has been drifted. It's been cornered hard, the whole 9 yards. So first thing we see, and we're like, okay, super. And the rental agency's like, oh, we're pretty sure it's going to be covered under warranty.
Of course it is.
No, it's not. Hey, guys, guess what? It's not.
Was that warranty?
That's not warranty.
That's not.
That needs to be a
Oh,
It does.
that was very sincere and cute.
So they go, yeah,
Sincere's the wrong
we're
word.
pretty sure that this is a manufacturer
Subdued.
like fault. We're like, no. But anyway, so we get it up in the air, and besides the tires being shot, we look at the rear diff, and the rear diff is split in multiple places.
Wonderful.
Big old cracks going
normal.
through it.
Great time.
The
fine.
where where it connects to the drive shaft, it is just completely loose, hopping around all over the place. You can push it in and out. It's great.
Great drivability.
And then the weird thing is it looks like it's cotton vinyl, some form of like material that is just completely wrapped up in the whole works, just everywhere. It's like cotton candy's been thrown, just threads everywhere.
Wonderful.
And so we look at it, we take pictures, and the rental agency's like, can you at least send pictures in to see if they'll cover it?
No.
And actually we did.
Jesus Christ.
So, well, here's the thing. We just did it because we already knew the answer, but at this point we're all, you know what, yeah, screw it. It's up in the air, we'll take pictures, we'll send it in, no problem.
Adriana at warranty is like, these fucking assholes.
So the thing is they, didn't ask, how are the tires? Does it look like it's been rode or, driven incorrectly? Nothing like that. They didn't even really comment on the cracking. They just go, no, I don't think we can cover that. And we're like, out of curiosity, that's fine. But why?
Why?
And she goes, oh, well, the stuff that's wrapped up in there is probably what caused the failure.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Go figure.
No,
So,
yeah.
So, we call the
Gotta
rental
love those
agency
guys.
and we tell them,
Surprise!
Not warranty.
there we go. So, and they go, okay, we're going to come pick it up and we'll fix it ourselves. And we're like, well, hold on, wait a second. What if we could make a really sweet deal with you and we'll do the repairs for you to make sure it's done right? And they go, how sweet of a deal.
Well, let me tell you.
Exactly. We're all like, well,
Hold on to your hat.
yeah, exactly. Well, how's this number do it for you?
If you're wearing cheap socks, they'll be knocked right off.
Jesus Christ.
And,
Winston Churchill.
And sure enough, they're like, all right, fine. You do that and you've got yourself a deal. So we got a customer pay job, pays, the hours that the technician requested. Take a cut on parts, we lower labor cost a little bit, but
Right, of course.
we got the job. So screw it.
Perfect.
So it ended up being customer pay. So they'll get their car back. And the guy that we were talking to at the rental agency, we asked him, I'm like, did you guys really take a look at this car before you sent it over to us? And they're like, nope, just didn't drive. So we sent it right over to you. We're like, when you get this car back, you need new tires. And he's like, well, what type of level of need new tires.
Like right the fuck now tires.
And we're like one wrong turn and it's gonna be just cord. So good customer pay job. Tech was happy, and he was pissed because he's like, why do I have to send pictures? You guys are just gonna get this covered under warranty. We're like, dude, seriously, you really think that they're gonna cover this under warranty?
Right. No.
And he's like, they always cover this.
But they try, like, you have to try, is I guess the mentality.
And he's like, oh, they always cover shit like this. They always be like, oh, sure, make the customer happy, blah, blah, blah. And sure enough, that didn't happen. We're like, dude, come on. There's some instances when they're not going to say yes.
Sounds like a clunker to me.
I was going to say, I'm surprised they just didn't donate it.
It did
Man, nothing is fucked
it
here.
did make
Nothing
some
is
serious clunker-lunkers.
So, I don't know if you guys were in the business back then. Allie maybe was, but she wasn't in the.
I was. It was okay.
Well, here, let's start with announcing the topic.
Okay, the topic is cash for clunkers.
So back in the day, we had this program where
It was a government program.
It was a government program, Cash
In
for
the
Clunkers.
Obama era.
Yeah.
Was it?
Thanks, Obama.
I think
It
I'm
might have
gonna
been.
Google it. You vamp.
It was called CARS, and it's car allowance.
1877 cars
No.
for kids.
Fuck.
Donation cars.
Whatever. Anyway,
Re-say whatever you said. Because
Cash for
Jake was-
Clunkers.
Okay.
You would take a vehicle into the dealership. They would give you, I forget what number it was. It was like $1,500 or something like that for whatever vehicle that you brought in that wouldn't pass smog. Just had to be something that didn't pass smog, right? And they would give you that towards a trade-in. And you're turning in your old junker for something nice and new that you wouldn't necessarily get that same value for. The problem with that is that when these vehicles came in, you would have to drain all the fluids from them and then pour essentially liquid glass into the engine and run it at, I believe they said 2,500 RPMs, but it's way more fun if you go wide open throttle. But you would have to run the engine so that the engine essentially
Seized.
explodes and seizes, so that no parts of the vehicle can be reused to make another gas guzzling vehicle, as the EPA would put it. The craziest thing was that the vehicles that came through our personal shop during that time that I was doing that, man, I had like an amazing Bronco that came through, an amazing old Super Duty, like an old Suburban, like all these cool cars that would come in that I would say like, well, make me a deal, like make me an offer on that. Like I'd buy that from you, but
I'll give you 500 extra bucks.
yeah. And so, it's me and the used car tech at the time. This is a long time ago. So
Yeah.
like when I was a
It
green
was
bean.
the Obama era, by
as
the
Dale
way.
would say. Yeah.
Green bean?
Yeah, when I was a green bean, as Dale would say.
Green pea.
And so it would be me and the used car tech, and we'd go out there, and the tow truck would come up, and it's a record truck, and so it would take 3 vehicles at a time. So we'd line up the first 3 vehicles go. The guy would sit there and watch us drain all the fluids from it, watch us put the liquid glass in, and then
Is it legitimately liquid glass?
It's well.
Or is it
Sounds like
chemical?
fiberglassy.
No, there's like it's a liquid. It's a chemical formula. I have it written down somewhere. I don't remember what it's called, but anyway, those of us who know what it was.
So you pour it in, you heat it up, and it just fries everything.
You pour it in and you start the
Why?
engine, and that liquid glass stuff circulates through the engine and creates enough friction that literally, I mean, we started fires. We shot.
shit.
That sounds safe.
We shot pistons through the sides of blocks.
Nice.
I mean, it was amazing. There
That's
was a lot
awesome.
of carnage. I love that.
That's
and again,
awesome.
like I said, the program said, run it at like 1,500 to 2,500 RPM until
It's still going to send it.
until it doesn't run anymore, and for a lot of them that was, the case. However, there'd be those ones that, you'd fire up and it'd start to run for a little bit and I guess I'll stick my foot down a little bit further, a little bit further. And it's like 4,500 RPM and the thing goes, and it's like, okay, well,
That's awesome.
I guess no one's using this one
I
anymore.
wish I would have been around for that. That would have been fun to watch.
It was a lot of fun, and again, it was really painful to like see, some of the nicer vehicles that you or I or any of the audience listening would have been like, oh,
I'll take it.
Yeah, I would have put some money into that and like get it all fixed up or whatever. But that was the program back in the day, and unfortunately, that's the way it was. But I still have some of the tags because when you have to put a tag around the engine before it goes onto the wrecker to say that it's been disabled by the Cash for
Right.
Clunkers or whatever the cars program, right? So I still have 2 of those tags sitting in my stall.
Nice.
And it's like
Nostalgia.
yeah, this is Nastasia.
No.
Nostalgia.
Nastasia.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Nasty Asia.
Yeah, it was very nice. Like it's very warming to know that I destroyed cars back in the day for fun.
Did you have to remove the oil cap to pour in the liquid glass?
Christ. I would assume he did, but that was a nice segue.
Thank you.
Sodium silicate.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, I'll probably bring one of the tags, or I'll take a picture of one of the tags and
There you go.
I'll put it in the in a photo.
What was that red sheet of paper, by the way, that you posted? Shop foreman recheck.
That's a read check sheet or
Okay.
a red sheet, and as some people had stated, it is a very old school principle of thinking. However, I find it extremely effective. So we are sticking
Because
with it.
it's like a sheet of shame.
Yes, he just likes to shame. Text. That's all
It's
it
not
is.
me.
Yep.
It's not me.
That's all it is.
We just dip the tip inside of ink and just slap it on the RO and give it back to the
goodness.
Oh, that was
mushroom stamp.
hot. Oh, fuck yeah.
What is this stain?
I'm turned on now. Thank you for that.
So yeah, oil cap story.
Yeah, that was Mr. Jennings.
Mr. Jennings.
Yeah,
One of
that
our best
happened
listeners.
after the great engine bubbling of 2022.
Oh, yes. By the way, that vehicle went to the dealership for a warranty engine. Covered.
Really?
Yep. Covered under their 100,000 powertrain warranty.
Yeah, and only had 90.
Yeah, had
90 some.
95 and
Yeah.
some change. So, anyways, so
Right in the nick of time.
Eric, that same day that happened was earlier in the day. He had a Porsche. Actually, no. I drove this Porsche home. It was a 2017 Porsche Panamera twin turbo
Nice.
V8, black
It was
on black.
so pretty.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
I want one of those so bad.
That was fun to drive.
I bet.
There
Let me
was some
tell
conversation
you.
as to whether you could or could not
I l-
have intimate relations in the back seat.
I love that. I love that for you.
Let me tell you. So, anyways, I was driving it home for the second day because he wanted me to listen for a clunk. And on the way home, it starts misfiring. And the check engine light's flashing at me. I'm like, that's cool. So I sent him a picture. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, nope, not.
Nope.
I barely made it home.
Oh, really?
Oh
Yeah.
my God,
So-
what is with these cars?
At least you're in the right area to break down in a Panamera.
Yeah, right? No. Not in my
No,
home.
he was at his house.
Yeah,
It's
my
not the
house.
right area.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the next morning, it drove fine all the way to work. No issues whatsoever. And so I get to work. I let Eric know about it. And I left him my scan tool. And he's looking into it. And then it's like, all he did was an oil change to it. And something else. I don't remember. Something stupid. So he's like, all I did was an oil change. So he starts, like, maybe he bumped off a hose or something. Who knows? You left something disconnected.
Something silly.
Something
yeah.
yeah, that's probably all it is. So he comes back to me a few minutes later. He's like, I figured it out. I was like, what was it? He's like, the oil cap was on backwards.
And to which we're like, what?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you put on an oil cap backwards?
Right.
I'm pretty sure it can only go on. It goes on one of two ways and it's right both ways.
Right.
No, apparently Porsches, the oil cap can only go on one way to ensure a proper seal into the crankcase.
Oh.
And when it's put on the other way, you have a leak in the crankcase pressure.
Ah.
And it caused a misfire.
Because the air to fuel ratio was fucked up.
Something like that. I don't remember.
Yes, Mike.
And it was...
That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
I still can't believe that Porsche would.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Completely dumb. So he fixed the
all.
oil cap,
Yeah.
cleared the codes, and drove it again, and it was fine.
And it was good to go like
He
magic.
literally turned the cap 180 degrees
And tightened it.
resealed it.
Oh
and
my
That
God.
was it. That's all
Can
he
only
did.
go
on to
on
the next
one
one.
way.
Yep. The oil cap. Yeah. And that was for you, Eric.
Hi, Eric.
All right.
E-Gen.
Yeah.
E-Gen.
E-Gen.
On the topic of Eric, we have to stick with it.
We have to stick with the Erics. Yes. I have a lovely story You guys
Yes.
actually have seen a video of this Explorer. It's on our interwebs.
It is on our interwebs.
And it sounds like shit when it's running.
Explain, yeah.
It's
How shit was it?
clunk.
Oh,
Actually, that's pretty much exactly what it
was
sounded
there
like.
anything
Yes.
that happened after the clunk, or was the
No,
clunk
that
like,
was it shutting off.
okay?
So it's a 2020 Explorer, and it's got 14,000 miles on it. It's a hybrid with a 3.3 liter V6.
Oh, gotta love those hybrids.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with it. I'm just
saying I've driven in one hybrid and it exploded.
It did, yes. So it comes in because customer states low oil pressure warning on the dash, and vehicle's making a loud noise, and possible oil leak. All right, that's cool. So I drove it from the back of the lot all the way to my bay. I pull it in and I rack it and I lift it up, and the entire undercarriage is just absolutely soaked in oil. It's dripping on me as I'm underneath this vehicle. I'm like, fucking great. So I pull off the splash shields and I'm looking. I'm like, yeah, everything's covered in oil. So I lower it back down again and I look in the engine compartment, and I can see that the dipstick is sticking out of the valve cover. It wasn't fully seated. So, but
That's
I
not
don't
the
think
picture that you sent me.
what?
Okay, continue.
No, that was a different car.
I don't even know what that was.
That
You're
was a
sending
different
me
car.
things like I know what I'm looking at.
Pay attention.
She
That was a
admits it.
different car.
She admits it.
Well, it's
From
a
last week,
different
she
car.
admits it.
The picture I sent you was in the conversation in the moment when I told you I was trying to figure out how to take this engine out. You're like, what? Is it puking oil everywhere?
Yeah.
And I sent you the picture. Of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I thought there was something more that I was supposed to be seeing.
No, I was just showing you the puking oil
I
mess
knew
you were
that. I
asking.
knew that. Okay,
Jesus Christ.
It's puking.
listen.
So,
Bless your
anyways,
heart.
there was the top of the engine was also covered in oil from the dipstick tube not being fully seated. Sorry. And so I raised it again, and I'm looking, and I'm kind of tracing where the oil is coming from, and I decide to inspect the oil filter using a mirror because I can't see because of all the bullshit in the way. And I can see the gasket sticking out from behind the filter, and it's like pressed out. Yeah, it was kind of waving. And so I'm like, okay, well, that's that. That's not warranty. Say it, Allie.
That's not warranty, bitch.
And it was not. It was not one of our oil filters.
Oh, there you go.
I know for a fact it wasn't warranty. So I'm like, and this is where I stop. So I stopped and I backed the vehicle out into a parking spot, and I told the service writer, have the customer call their insurance company.
I'm sorry. Was that expensive
That's a
piece?
very expensive piece. And so the customer called their insurance company. The insurance company came out and they looked at it and they said, nope. Simple as that. He's like, no.
Yep.
Not covering it.
Yep.
And he left. And so that was actually like 2 weeks ago. And the following week, I'm working on a vehicle and I see this guy standing behind this truck I'm working on. I'm like, who the fuck is this? And he's just standing there on his phone. Just standing there. And then he turns around and I can see Valvoline across the front of his shirt. I'm like, that's cool.
Ooga dooga dooga.
Yeah.
Ooga dooga.
No, it's okay.
Oh my god.
We
Ooga
can call
dooga
them-
dooga.
we can call them out.
Fuck yeah. I called him out.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I'm getting
Wait,
Mikey.
Stop.
I
Continue,
just
please.
want to see
Continue.
his.
Oh, God.
No, this is like gives him all the chills because of what I did. It was fucking fantastic.
What did you do?
Oh, just you wait. Oh, it was fucking fantastic. So, anyways, so the guy's there, and I call the service writer. I'm like, "Who's this idiot standing behind this truck?" And he's like, "Oh, he's from Valvoline." I'm like, "Okay, what does he want?" "Oh, I don't know. Let me go ask." So he goes out there. He talks to the guy, and then he comes and talks to me. He's like, he wants you to do an oil change. I started laughing. I said, no. I said, that's not happening. I said, the engine's done.
Yep.
And so he's like, all right, I'll go tell him. So he goes and he tells him, and the guy leaves. All right, cool, whatever. I don't care. 2 days later, the service writer comes up to me when I'm on lunch, and he goes, hey, the guy from Valvoline's back. He's like, he wants you to remove the oil filter so they can see if it was double gasketed or if the gasket failed. That's what I told him, what I suspected had happened. Either it was double gasketed or the gasket failed from the filter. Either way, it's not our filter, it's from them. And so the guy came back because he wanted us to actually remove it so that we could inspect it. I'm like, sure, no problem. I'm back from lunch in 20 minutes. It's like, okay. So he told the guy to wait 20 minutes, and the guy waited 20 minutes. So I come back from lunch, and I put on my Britney Spears in the speaker. I'm putting my gloves on, and I'm, doing a little dance, taking my time, and I'm whistling. I walk out to the car. So I see that the guy from Valvoline there, but I also see another gentleman who I assumed was the owner. Turns out I was right. So I start up the vehicle, and I drive it into my bay, and as I pull it into my bay,
it sounds like the worst noise you've ever heard.
And it's not
like
just the
super grindy.
It's not just that rattling noise,
knocking, rattling,
squealing, because the pistons are hitting the cylinder walls as they're going up and down. It's literally a scraping noise. It's awful. And so I pull it into my bay.
The damn thing ran still.
I know. So I pull it into my bay and I put it on the rack. And the service advisor walks over. I said, "You can call him over now." So they come sauntering over. And Mike, he called Mike over as well, just to supervise it.
Yes, I was requested to come over.
And so they come sauntering over, and he's like, "Oh, I want to take the filter off. So we want to see if it's two gaskets or if the gasket failed." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So I raised the vehicle, and I had a hell of a time getting that filter off because there's no fucking room in there. Like, I couldn't get past my wrist. It was awful. And I had to go elbow deep, if you will. I had to go elbow deep just to get the damn filter off. And I couldn't get it quite because I was reaching it with my fingertips. So I had to grab a tool and start taking off the wrench. And I put the tool on it, and it just like spins. I'm like, oh, it's already loose. Okay, cool. So I unscrew the filter all the way, and I have to grab it with my magnet because of the awkward position is. And we look at the filter, and the gasket failed. Although I'm pretty sure what happened was the gasket was not fully seated in the groove when they put the filter on. And so when they screwed it on, it just pressed it out of the groove even more.
Yeah, just popped it.
And so he's like, well, it wasn't double gasketed. I'm like, yeah, but the gasket shouldn't be like that. Well, he drove 5,000 miles like this. I said, he should have gone 10 or 15 like this.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have failed like that. I said, that's either from it being installed incorrectly, or the gasket actually failed. And mind you, the customer's standing right next to him the whole time.
Yeah, which is
the
super
whole
awkward.
time. Yeah.
And everybody's got their cell phones out recording.
they're recording.
The service advisor has their cell phone out recording it. The representative from Valvoline has
The customer
has their cell phone out. Everybody.
They, of course, asked at first, do you mind if we record?
Okay.
No, I don't give a shit. Yeah, fine.
I was like, let me turn off my Britney
Wait,
Spears
is
first.
Britney Spears playing in the
No,
background?
I was nice enough to turn her down.
Okay,
I turned the music
I
down.
had to ask that.
I was professional up to that point. And then until he's like, oh, can I take this with me? They want to do research. They want to check the numbers and whatnot. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. So we give him a bag, and he puts it in the bag, and he's like, and so the Valvoline guy stops. Mind you, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know if he's like their lead lube tech, if he's a manager of the store, if he's I don't know who he is.
He seemed like a pencil pusher.
Yeah, he's
Some suit.
He basically seemed like he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. So
because he didn't.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He didn't.
Oh, are you okay, Mike?
So-
Do you have a cold?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
First thing he said,
Allergic to
he's like-
bullshit.
he's all, well, I guess the first step of this would be to do an oil change and clear codes and then perform a compression test. And if we need to tear down, I said, no. I said, we're not doing any of that. He's like, well, how come? I was like, didn't you hear it when I pulled it in? He's like, well, no. I'm like, well, that's weird because when I pulled it in, I looked back and I saw both of you standing on the service drive staring at me as I pulled it in. There's no way you didn't hear that.
Yeah.
No, we didn't hear it. I'm like, okay, let me start it up for you. And tell him.
Eric was like, well, I have a filter right here.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
I'll
like,
throw a new filter on and we'll
be
fire it
on
up
our
right now.
way.
Start it up right now.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, no, it's fine. You don't need to do that.
And Eric was like, please allow me, sir. Allow
The
me.
customer's like, no, that's a good idea because then you can record it and show your bosses.
Yep.
And he's like, okay, that's fine. So I take the oil filter and I start screwing the oil filter on, and I tell the guy, I'm like, let me see that oil filter. And he shows me the oil filter in the bag, and I'm like, oh, and by the way, that's the wrong oil filter for this engine. And he's like, oh, no, this is the right Ford number for the Ford engine. I said, no, that's the right Ford number for our 4-cylinder engines. And I grabbed another filter that I had.
Shit.
I said, see this oil filter? It's much taller. These are for our V6 engines. And the customer goes, he tilts his head. He goes, well, what's the difference in size mean? I said, oil flow and pressure. And the guy's like, oh yeah, oil flow.
And then the guy starts like rambling about some scientific stuff.
I don't know what the fuck he was saying. I tuned him out.
Anything.
He just wants you to perform an oil change because that's all he knows how to do.
And a compression test.
And a compression test, yes. So I left it at that. I put the other filter back. I finished screwing on the new filter, and I lowered the vehicle, and I get in it, and I start it up, and the engine kicks on, and I fucking floored it. I put my foot to the floor. It's like, and it's squeaking, and it's making this god-awful fucking noise. I can see the guy's look at his face. He's just like terrified.
Please shut it off.
Yes, that's exactly what I got from it.
Yeah.
So... this is Mikey's favorite part. So I shut the engine off, and I get out of the car, and I poke my head out past the windshield and look at the guy, and I nodded at him. I said, you still want me to do a compression test? And Mikey is standing behind the customer, the Valvoline guy, and he's like giggling, trying not to make it obvious. And he's like, no, you're good. It's fine. And so he turns to the customer. He's like, are you in a rental right now? Did we give you a car? No, I've been driving my own truck. And he's like, oh, we're not going to tell them about that. We're going to get you in a car. We'll get you taken care of. And he starts walking off with the customer. And the customer comes back. He's like, thank you so much. He thanked me. He's like, thank you. I really appreciate that. He's like, and then he goes, have you done one of these before? I didn't want to tell him I hadn't. Like, no, I'm going to be experimenting on one of yours. I said, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's all nuts and bolts. I said, and we've had these engines in other vehicles before. I said, I haven't worked on this specific body style, but I do know how it comes out. He's like, oh, that's all I want to know was how it comes out of the vehicle. I said, it all drops out of the bottom. I said, just a few nuts and bolts, and boop, it all falls out. We put a new engine in, slap it to the transmission, and boop, put it all back in. Just like that. He's like, that's so cool. Thank you so much. I said, if you need anything at all, I said, don't hesitate to give us a call. He's like, thank you so much. And he walked away.
Nice. Hell yeah.
So that person
and that's when you guys gained a customer.
Yeah, no longer be going to
Valvoline for his oil changes.
Yeah, because you know what? They may tell you that they save you $2 on our oil changes, but is it really worth it?
No, never is.
So... real quick, so Valvoline gets a discount on parts, whatever. So their quote for replacement of the engine came out to like 12,000 and some change, and CP is about 15 and some change.
Okay.
Yeah, the engine CP was like 7,600, and then their discount was pretty steep. It was like $4,300 for their discount for that engine for the long block.
Damn.
But yeah, good times.
Nice, bud.
Yeah, that was fun this week. Let me tell you. I know Mike enjoyed it.
I sincerely enjoyed it because when Eric,
he's like, oh, chills.
Eric fired up the car, and when Eric had mentioned like, oh, well, I'll just throw another oil filter on here and we can fire it up right now. Like you can hear how it sounded. Like I was like, the customer was like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Like you know, you should take a video of it. Talking to the Valvoline guy, I was like, oh, here it comes. I like lean even harder onto the tool bench or whatever. And so Eric fires up the car, and you know, it makes this horrible noise and shuts it off and makes an even worse noise. And Eric literally gets out of the car in like a movie, and he's like, still want to do a compression test on it? Like all sassy. Like,
was I that sassy when I said it? That's funny because in my mind it didn't sound like that.
Okay, this is what
I
just
fucking
happened.
love
You were
it.
so sassy. It was great.
Eric portrayed it as, do you still want to do the compression test? And Mike portrayed it as, do you want to still do the compression test?
Because that's
I
how
believe
it
it,
was
though.
in real life.
I believe it.
In real life.
I am completely oblivious to myself.
Let me tell you, that's what
I've
happened.
witnessed this before where you were so sassy to somebody we know. And I was like, wow. And you're like, what's that?
I don't even realize.
Oh, I'm over it, or like, oh, they don't deserve it, or whatever his excuse is at the time. The soup du jour.
Oh my god,
You know, that is hilarious.
That's amazing.
I take notes.
Thank you for
out
that.
of
You didn't
Eric's
mention
book.
that to me before. I didn't realize it was
Do you
that
still
bad.
want to do a compression test?
I hope they caught that on video.
In my notes, that's how it was written.
I wish
That's hilarious.
Sassy AF.
Mike,
was
I
my
wish you
thought.
would have recorded that.
Is I
Yeah,
wish
you were
There's
the
at
only
least two
one
other
that he
videos
didn't.
of-
Oh, we should ask the service advisor if he got it.
You should.
Oh, by the way, shout out to Juan.
Juan. on.
Mora, our newest service advisor.
Oh, yeah.
He's a very avid listener. He loves listening to podcasts.
Really?
And he's only been with us a couple months. Shout out
you,
to my
Juan.
little
Thank
Juanito.
you, Juan.
Thank you.
You said
Juan.
new service advisor?
Yes.
Yeah, he drives a brand new BMW Z4. Oh no, wait, it's Toyota
It's
Supra.
a Toyota
sorry.
Supra. Shut up, stupid. You're retarded. Anyways, yes. No, that was our excitement for the week.
Nice.
And that I gabbed for a whole 12 minutes or so.
She heard the
She
keys.
heard
She
the
did hear the
keys.
keys.
That's
Koa,
funny.
it's okay.
It's okay,
So
Koa.
before we send it off, there is a poll that I wanted to do with all the listeners, and Michael set it up. You guys can answer.
Well, he's gonna.
We can, it'll be basically yes or no, but we would like responses to this if it does end up being a yes. Is have you ever been pulled over during a test drive in a customer's vehicle? It can be just you, it can be with the customer, however it happened. You can give us the yes or no. If it is a yes,
What?
we would really appreciate it if you told us what happened, if it was funny, if it was shitty, what happened with the customer, if the cop was a dick, let us know everything, but I'm real curious about that.
If you got arrested.
I've been wanting to ask that for a while because with as many listeners and texts and people that are out there that do listen to the podcast, I guarantee there's a pretty decent handful of you that have been pulled over.
Oh, I'm almost positive.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still want to do a compression test, bitch?
Yeah, pretty basically. That's basically how it went.
But he gets so sassy sometimes.
I don't
and
even realize, to
when
be
it's,
honest.
when it's towards somebody else, it's hilarious. When it's towards
yeah.
me, I want
I don't
to
want-
strangle him, which he might enjoy. But
Yeah, there's that. Well, I
Daddy,
apologize.
chill.
Daddy, chill. What the fuck is even that?
What the fuck is even that?
On that
my
note, thank
God.
you so
Thanks,
much to all of
everybody.
our listeners. We really appreciate you guys sticking with us week in and week out.
Season 2, episode 34.
We did
Yeah,
it.
Good times, guys.
Fun times.
Yes. And guess what? You have ways that you can reach us. You can
Yes.
reach out to us on all of our social medias.
But most
Facebook.
importantly, pay us at customerstagepodcast@gmail.com.
First and foremost.
Yes, that is our PayPal. And you can also email us at that address. Again, that's customerstatespodcast@gmail.com.
Very nicely said.
Fine. Thank you. You can find us on YouTube. Did you know that?
I did.
We're on
What-
YouTube.
What? How?
Yes.
How? What do I put
If
in the
you
search
type
there?
in the search bar customer states ... podcast, that's an ellipses, by the way.
It's an ellipsis.
Click search and take it off of work mode. You will find us. All of our glory.
Did we
All
just
of our
become
glory.
best friends?
I think we
Do you
did.
want to do karate in the garage?
Jesus.
Has left the chat.
Spotify, Apple
Spotify.
Podcasts, Google Casts,
All of
whatever,
them.
all of the casts.
All of the cast.
Customer States Podcast, Twitter and Instagram, customer _ podcast. Customer underscore.
Underscore.
I just invented a new genre of music.
It's not hardcore.
Take another
it's
drink,
underscore.
Customer underscore
States.
states is Twitter and Instagram.
That's it.
That's it.
No,
Yes.
our website.
Oh, our
yes.
website, customerstatespodcast.com.
Yeah.
That's a fun place to be. You can get all kinds of fun merch. We got some new swag coming.
Hashtag sell the bell.
So
Swag
excited.
stickers.
Turn towards, look to the camera.
Show that
Show them that
swag
beautiful
on your
bead
head.
footage.
Ooh,
Swiggity swooty, I'm
baby.
coming for that booty.
I'm excited for that. I need some, Mikey, you have to help me put the stickers on my new glass on my truck.
I was really upset that you haven't put them on there already, but if you need help, I will do it.
I'm taking pre-orders for bedazzlings.
Of the various Customer States Podcast merch.
Yep.
Saying it now. I already requested the pink one.
You got it.
Yes.
Also, want to thank Dale Follett
Thanks,
and
Dale.
Norm Glacier.
Yep.
Twisted Builds.
Jean-Luc.
Stovocore _
Metalworks
twistedbells.com.
at hotmail.com.
at hotmail.com.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you guys. It's been
Thank
a
you
great
very much.
episode. We want to
Yes.
thank all of our listeners. Thank you guys so much.
See you next week. And
Koa, thank you.
Thank you for being
Koa
on that
babies.
episode, Koa. She's cuddling up
The
with me
podcast
right
pooch.
now.
Yes.
I'm
You're,
so
you're
toasty.
such a good little puppers.
And with that,
We say...
I'll hug you and kiss you and love you. Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Hi, this is Mike Sarah from Customer States. Matco Tools is one of the best tool companies in the industry, and Nick Lowridge is one of the best Matco tool distributors. Nick can get me anything I need for the shop or for at home. From oil drain pans to beef jerky, Nick's got what I need on tap. Nick works in the Thousand Oaks, California area, and you too can get whatever you need by calling him at 805-796-7323. And if you're not in that area, call him anyway and tell him you heard about him from the Customer States podcast. And then you can hop on to matcotools.com and find a Matco Tools distributor near you. Matco Tools. Service, trust, results.